While working on this project, I learned that before the tower was built and the park established, this very spot was used as a campground for Boy Scouts. In fact, Mr. Dan Duplantis and my granddad both camped here as boys. Combine that with the beautiful eagles that are nesting here in this area is a small sample of Louisiana's natural beauty. How could this not be the perfect Eagle Scout project? To honor all Eagle Scouts, past, present, and future, a new statue is now a part of the park's allure. At this time, please enjoy the sounds of our bell as played by Mr. Lee LeBlanc, Carillion.
He could never have completed this project without the help of so many people. If you could stand as I call your name, and Remy has a special gift he would like to give each one of you. Vital signs, Mr. Wendell Terrio. Elite Graphics, Mr. John Broussard. Vita Paint, Mr. David Kirkpatrick. Tash Regional Hospital, Mr. Butch Frazier. Sons Coating, Mr. Benji Sons. Morgan City Rotary Club, Mr. Bob Harrison. Morgan City Bank, Mr. Larry Calais. Tiger Island Hardware, Mr. Casey Shannon. St. Mary Parish School Board Maintenance Department, Mr. Chad and Mr. Troy. City of Morgan City, Mr. Frank Zaffe. Mr. Thane O'Quinn. L&H Printing, Mr. Damon Robinson. Cajun Coast, Miss Carrie Stansberry. Abshire Carpentry, Mr. Scott Abshire. The Arsenault family, Mr. and Mrs. Steve Roussel, Mr. and Mrs. Chris Arsenault, Mr. and Mrs. Frank Arsenault, Mr. and Mrs. Kirby Arsenault, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Arsenault, Mr. Michael Arsenault and Mr. Alfred Arsenault. I'd like to add a special thank you to Mr. Dwayne Barbier. Mr. Dwayne not only put up with all of Remington's requests, but he also had to deal with his assistant. No names need to be mentioned here. And it wasn't an easy task. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne. Mr. Ray LaHost. Mr. Ray was Remington's official mentor and advisor for his Eagle Scout project. He also helped him with his sponsors. Thank you, Mr. Ray. Miss Sabrina Williams. Miss Sabrina worked hand in hand with Remington on the reception as well as the layout for today's ceremony. She went above and beyond. Thank you, Miss Sabrina. Just give you a little bit about the gifts that Remington is handing out. He come up with the idea to use cypress knees as their a good part of Louisiana, actually. And we took a picture of the bell towers and placed them inside the cypress knees. And I thought it'd make a good little desk paperweight. That's something he wanted to do for everybody that sponsored. So without further ado, I'd like to thank all the people that came out and worked all the hard hours and days with Remington on this project. If it were not for his fellow scouts, friends, and family, we would not be here today celebrating this magnificent attraction. Also, thank you. And after the choir sings a closing song, feel free to please enjoy the reception. One last person we failed to mention, probably one of the second most important people out here today, Mr. Lee LeBlanc. He hasn't played the bells in about 20 years. I think it's been about 2 to 3 years since the bells have last been played. And so a big round of applause for Lee. And that concludes the ceremony. Feel free to help yourselves with refreshments provided by Test Regional. Thank everybody for coming out.